Welcome back, story lovers. Today, we're blasting off into the glowing galaxy of Felinaria, a universe where starships purr like kittens and comets leave shimmering trails of sparkly dust. In this magical corner of space lived the legendary Captain Nina Ray, a fearless ginger cat with brilliant emerald eyes and a tail that could flick with the speed and precision of a laser whip. She wasn't just any cat. She was the bravest commander in the entire quadrant. By her side, always ready for an adventure, was her loyal first mate and best friend, Zog. Zog was a curious purple alien cat from a distant world, and his most unique feature was his two long antennae. These weren't just for show. They glowed different colors depending on his mood, acting as a living, breathing, emotional barometer. Together, Nina and Zog commanded the StarClaw, the fastest, sleekest, most technologically advanced cat-crafted ship in the galaxy. Its engines hummed a tune of pure power, ready to leap across star systems in the blink of an eye. One particularly quiet night, the starfields outside their cockpit window twinkled peacefully. Captain Nina was meticulously polishing her shiny captain's badge, its golden surface reflecting her determined face. Zog, meanwhile, was happily munching on his favorite snack, cosmic tuna bites, which floated gently in the zero gravity of the mess hall. The ship was calm, the crew was resting, and all seemed right in the universe. But in deep space, tranquility can be shattered in an instant. Suddenly, a piercing sound cut through the silence. Beep, beeply. The ship's main alarm blared, red lights flashing across the bridge, casting long, dancing shadows. Nina dropped her badge and was at the command console in a flash. Zog zipped right behind her, his cosmic tuna forgotten. A frantic message flickered to life on the main view screen. It was a distorted transmission from a distant outpost. Help. A desperate voice crackled. Help us. Captain Nina. The Nebula of Shadows is ... its awakening. The villain Skarog, he has returned. The name hit them like a meteor. Zog's antennae, which were a soft, contented lavender just moments before, instantly flashed a bright electric yellow, the color of pure, unadulterated fear. Captain, he meowed, his voice trembling. Skarog, he's back. The shadow thief, the one who drains light from suns. Nina's emerald eyes narrowed into slits, her relaxed posture replaced by a hunter's focus. A low growl rumbled in her chest. No villain, she declared, her voice firm and unwavering, steals the light of our galaxy on my watch. Zog, prep the engines, set a course for the Nebula of Shadows, full power. The StarClaw roared to life. With a powerful jolt, it launched into hyperdrive, a streak of silver light tearing through the fabric of space. They zoomed past shimmering starfields that looked like scattered diamonds on black velvet, and navigated through chaotic plasma storms that crackled with cosmic energy. The journey was perilous, but Nina's paws were steady on the controls. She was a master pilot, weaving the StarClaw through asteroid fields as if it were a graceful dance. Zog, despite his initial fear, monitored the ship's systems, his antennae now glowing a steady, focused green. He knew Nina was counting on him. But finally, they arrived. Before them loomed the nebula of shadows. It wasn't like the other beautiful, colorful nebulas in Felenaria. This was a swirling, monstrous cloud of dark purple and black fog that seemed to absorb all light, whispering, eerie, unsettling sounds that echoed through the ship's hull. It was a place where stars went to die. As the StarClaw cautiously entered the oppressive gloom, a figure began to form in the darkness ahead. It was him. Out of the swirling shadows emerged Skarog, a skeletal, black-furred space cat whose very presence felt like a drain on the warmth of the universe. His eyes glowed with a malevolent red light, and his claws were not natural, but forged from dark, jagged metal that glinted menacingly. A sinister hiss escaped his lips, a sound that promised only destruction. "Captain Nina," he rasped, his voice a chilling echo. "So predictable. You've come to witness my greatest triumph. Your precious galaxy's light will be mine. I will plunge every star, every planet, into eternal darkness." He quickly hid behind Nina's command chair, his antennae now glowing a deep, panicked blue. He had heard tales of Skarog's cruelty, of how he had extinguished entire star systems, leaving them cold and lifeless. But Nina didn't flinch. She stood tall, planting her paws firmly on the deck. She faced the embodiment of darkness with a courage that shone brighter than any star. "You picked the wrong galaxy, Skarog," she retorted, her voice sharp, "and you definitely picked the wrong cat." Enraged by her defiance, Skarog let out a furious screech. He raised a metallic claw and sliced it through the air. In response, his ship, the Shadowfang, unleashed a torrent of dark energy. An army of shadow drones poured out from its hull, swarming towards the StarClaw like a plague of angry, robotic insects. They were fast, silent, and covered in armor that absorbed sensor scans. The ship's shields began to flicker under the relentless assault. The battle was on. Nina became a blur of orange fur and decisive action. She leapt from panel to panel on the bridge, her paws batting at controls with lightning speed. Evasive maneuvers, full pattern delta. She commanded, her instincts guiding the massive ship through the drone swarm. The StarClaw twisted and barrel-rolled, its laser cannons firing bright bursts of energy that vaporized drone after drone. Meanwhile, Zog, seeing his captain fighting so bravely, found his own courage. He knew he had to do more than just monitor systems. He focused all his energy, and his antennae began to glow with a brilliant, pure white light. He activated his special ability, Shields to Maximum. He shouted, and a powerful, protective energy bubble, shimmering with light, expanded from the StarClaw, deflecting the drone attacks. "Nice one, Zog," Nina shouted over the sound of explosions, giving him a quick, appreciative glance. The energy bubble gave them a much-needed moment to breathe. But Skarog was not so easily defeated. He had one last terrible trick up his sleeve. Seeing his drone army failing, he cackled maniacally. "Insignificant pests. You cannot stop the inevitable. From the heart of his ship, he activated his ultimate weapon, the Shadow Core. It was a terrifying device, a sphere of swirling anti-energy that pulsed with a dark hunger designed for one purpose: to extinguish stars and consume all light. The nebula around them began to dim even further as the core started to power up. Nina and Zog watched in horror as the nearest star began to flicker, its light being pulled into the device. They knew they had only seconds. They looked at each other, a silent understanding passing between them. There was no plan, only a shared resolve. "We do this together," Nina said, her voice filled with trust. "Together," Zog echoed, his antennae now glowing with a determined, courageous gold. In a move of stunning bravery, they ejected from the StarClaw's cockpit in their spacesuits, launching themselves directly at Skarog and his dreadful machine. The vacuum of space was silent, but their hearts pounded like war drums. As they hurtled through the void, Skarog barely had time to register their audacious attack. With a heroic arching leap, Nina pounced. She slammed into Skarog with all her might, her claws extended, knocking the Shadow Core from his metallic grasp. The device tumbled through space, unstable and pulsing wildly. This was Zog's moment. As the core spun past him, he aimed his glowing antennae directly at it and unleashed a concentrated beam of pure white-hot light energy. The beam struck the Shadow Core, and for a moment, light and darkness fought for control. Then, with a deafening, silent implosion, the core overloaded. A massive shockwave of brilliant golden light burst through the nebula, vaporizing the remaining drones and washing away the oppressive darkness. The nebula of shadows was no more. In its place, a beautiful, newborn golden nebula glowed, filled with the promise of new stars. Skarog, caught in the blast of pure light, shrieked in agony as his shadowy form dissolved, vanishing back into the deepest recesses of space, defeated for now. Nina and Zog floated in the sudden, peaceful brightness. Zog's antennae pulsed a soft, happy pink. He had faced his greatest fear and won. Nina flicked her tail proudly, a gesture of a job well done. Another heroic victory for the crew of the StarClaw, she declared. Floating back to their ship, they stood on the bridge and watched the new nebula shine. The galaxy was safe once again. Zog looked at his captain, his eyes full of admiration. "Where to next, Captain?" he asked, ready for whatever came their way. Nina smiled, her gaze fixed on the endless, star-filled sky. "Anywhere the light is threatened," she said. "Anywhere the galaxy needs us." And with a gentle hum, the StarClaw turned and flew onward, a silver sentinel soaring through the cosmos, leaving a trail of glittering, hopeful stardust behind. Thank you so much for watching this interstellar adventure. If you loved the story of Captain Nina and Zog, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing tales from across the universe. We'll see you on the next journey.